This past week on social media, a number of people posted MLK quotes. And one of the dangers of posting a quote from Martin Luther King Jr. was pointed out to us by Reverend Cobb last week, that sometimes there's almost a whitewashing. Well, he said this, and I'm fine with that, so that's enough, end of inquiry. So a couple of people posted quotes that I thought were particularly appropriate and not capable of different interpretations, and I asked them to come speak today. And one of them said she would come speak, but she texted me a few minutes ago, said, "Rick, I'm sorry, I'm late, and if she shows up, we'll give her the mic." But another one is a woman who could not make it today, but said that she would be glad to write something for us. Her name is Liisa Koeper. She's a Southbury resident. She works for CHAFA, which is the Connecticut Housing Finance Authority. She works in affordable housing. And has been an ally with us, although I think she's been to one or two rallies, but she's a real ally for what we do. And she took her assignment very seriously. So the quote that she posted on Facebook was from Dr. King: "I have decided to stick with love. Hate is too great a burden to bear." She then included the speech, or at least a portion of the speech. So I'm quoting from Dr. King. "I'm concerned about a better world. I'm concerned about justice. I'm concerned about brotherhood and sisterhood. I'm concerned about truth. And when one is concerned about that, he can never advocate violence. For through violence you may murder a murderer, but you can't murder murder. Through violence you may murder a liar, but you can't establish truth. Through violence you may murder a hater, but you can't murder hate through violence. Darkness cannot put out darkness, only light can do that. And I say to you, I have also decided to stick with love, for I know that love is ultimately the only answer to humankind's problems. And I'm going to talk about it everywhere I go. I know it isn't popular to talk about it in some circles today, and I'm not talking about emotional bosh when I talk about love. I'm talking about a strong, demanding love. For I have seen too much hate, and I say to myself that hate is too great a burden to bear. I have decided to love. If you are seeking the highest good and think you can find it through, I think you can find it through love. And the beautiful thing is that we aren't moving wrong when we do it, because John was right. God is love. He who hates does not know God, but he who loves has the key that unlocks the door to the meaning of ultimate reality. And so I say to you today, my friends, that you may be able to speak with the tongues of men and angels. You may have the eloquence of articulate speech, but if you have not love, it means nothing. Yes, you may have the gift of prophecy. You may have the gift of scientific prediction and understand the behavior of molecules. You may break into the storehouses of nature and bring forth many new insights. Yes, you may ascend to the heights of academic achievement, so that you have all the knowledge, and you may boast of your great institutions of learning and the boundless extent of your degrees, but if you have not love, all of these mean absolutely nothing. You may even give your goods to feed the poor. You may bestow great gifts to charity, and you may tower high in philanthropy. But if you have not love, your charity means nothing. You may even give your body to be burned and die the death of a martyr, and your spilt blood may be a symbol of honor for generations yet unborn, and thousands may pray you as one of history's greatest heroes. But if you have not love, your blood was spilt in vain. What I'm trying to get you to see this morning is that a man may be self-centered in his self-denial and self-righteous in his self-sacrifice. His generosity may feed his ego, and his piety may feed his pride. So without love, benevolence becomes egotism, and martyrdom becomes spiritual pride. That's an excerpt from Martin Luther King Jr.'s speech called "Where Do We Go From Here?" delivered at the 11th Annual Southern Christian Leadership Conference Convention in Atlanta in August of 1967. So Liisa wanted to quote the entire relevant portion of that speech in putting her quote into context, which is important, as Michael pointed out last week. It's important if we're going to really understand how these words should speak to us and what we should take from them. And so Liisa then adds her own words. Most of us put a clip from an MLK speech or other quote attributed to Dr. King on our social media feeds in mid-January to honor and celebrate the life and great legacy of this great man. This year and in a few years past, I had this on my page. Rick asked me to expand on why I had chosen this particular clip, so I will try. Initially, I read the clip out of its context. I had not read the entire speech it was taken from. At its basic core, two wrongs can't make a right. Good will always prevail. You have to do the hard work of being on the side of good and right to drive out evil and wrong. I was thinking about this last night as I fell asleep, and what I would put down on paper. I was thinking that if you are so filled with hate, you are blinded and cannot move forward. That without love, nothing could change in a positive way. That hating your enemy or obstacle could do nothing to remove them. It would only harm you and continue a cycle of hate and non-movement. I thought of classic stories we all love: Star Wars, Lord of the Rings, even Harry Potter. Love and good triumphs over hate and evil. It's a long and hard-fought battle, but it is a victory. To boil this down to my personal belief system, my personal sense of good and right, I am ever hopeful that we will get there. All of these little steps we collectively take for good and do for love add up to something bigger. That we all will choose love over hate. Hate is a disease that can only be cured by education and love, love, love. So that's from Liisa.